Very rushed, and I don't think it was the right time to do it yet. Got rocked in this fight. I just want to fix this reference that Ian does real quick. For IDW, that's a massive leap in quality. There are in fact shades of this inside of the game's continuity. Sonic and his friends are all villain enablers, even in video game continuity. Without Surge, Kit would continue to be under Starline's oppression. What the hell is this?
Shall we begin? I grant you audience.
What is happening, grandmas and cougars? My name is KotyTang. Alright, final issue of Imposter Syndrome. So let's just hop right into this. Of course, as always, I have not read past issue 47, so please be careful about sharing spoilers in the comments below. Issue 4. Outside of Eggman's new capital city, Starline reminisces about simpler times, way back in the Metal Virus. Starline questions why Eggman would want so many theme parks, but Starline is unsatisfied with the answer and presses more. To which Eggman states that he doesn't settle for the world as it is. He makes it what he wants it to be. The statement of creating the world that he wants resonates in Dr. Starline, and he uses that memory as an inspiration for this attack.
No fortress is impregnable. Watch and mark you the suffering of one who must rule, yet lacks the power. No mercy for reprobates.
Piece of cake.
Once more into the fray.
Yeah.
Your undoing shall be our rise to glory.
Gotcha.
Advance.
It ain't over yet.
Be careful.
They've still got friends waiting for a beat.
Ready when you are.
Better watch out for this one, David.
Blast you, Sonic! What? Oh no! Well, look at you! Round 2. Time for the knockout! How cute! You don't stand a chance!
Too bad for you. Hell yeah! Idiots! Still got more. You ain't seen nothing. That's what you get.
You're done.
Ready for this? Here you go! Yeah! Wow. Honestly, you're way weaker than I thought you'd be.
Seems like you don't have the experience to challenge me, dumbass. Well done.
Thanks.
You have to be kidding me!
All you hold dear shall be mine.
This isn't the last you've heard of me!
That was an interesting show.
Oh, like you never have something malfunction.
I intend to create a legend all my own.
I've already won!
I think not.
How dare you!
During this battle, Starline heads to upload his override program, and it's here that Surge and Kit officially set their plan in motion to betray Starline. Kit questions if they're doing the right thing, which prompts Surge to officially solidify this pact. Their pact is not one of hypnosis or conditioning, but of trust. Surge and Kit will be loyal to each other and only each other. Meanwhile, Orbot and Cubot arrive back to Eggman following their vacation that started in issue 40. They assumed Eggman would be mad, but he instead just wants to know who's attacking his city that they're all currently staying at. Eggman, for the first time, sees Surge and Kit in action, with his security cameras struggling to recognize the two, unable to pinpoint them as either Sonic or Tails. For some reason they're doing that. Eggman unconcernedly sends out Metal Sonic to fight Surge. Thanks to Surge and Kit's synchronized teamwork, the two are able to overpower and totally defeat Metal Sonic, where Surge delivers one final speech to him about how he'll never be able to replace the real Sonic, as she'll be the one to do so. And also because he's not even good enough to be her fate. I wonder where she got that line from. Wow, I'm sure that that's a totally organic thing that she just happened to be saying. Finally, Surge ends this trash talk by disrespectfully flicking the head of Metal Sonic's already motionless corpse. Also, Surge asks how Kit's head is, and he was never hit on his head. Is that like a side effect of his water or something that I'm just now hearing about? Or maybe I'm missing something here. Starline finally reveals himself to Dr. Eggman as he's already halfway into uploading his override. Seeing Dr. Starline surprises Eggman, however, this reunion doesn't last long as Starline's override is complete, and he launches the device, resulting in Starline gaining complete control of the capital city's army of badniks. After being accosted by the now controlled Orbot and Cubot, Eggman makes his escape from his hacked empire. Starline is whisked away by his new army over to the throne of Dr. Eggman. He gives the order to transmit his override across the Eggnet. So now, any base or lingering badnik that can possibly receive the signal, even the Motobug that Bell had previously saved, are all now under Dr. Starline's personal command. Yep. See? I said this back in Bad Guys! Something like this could happen at any moment! Even more lucky for Starline's plan, Sonic happens to be heading right for the capital city right now, taking Tails and Bell along with him, which of course perfectly sets the stage for Surge and Sonic's fated battle. Cubot informs Starline that Eggman has escaped, however, he's unconcerned as any robot that Eggman decides to man should immediately be under Starline's control. After he says this, we witness Eggman turning on the manual override to one of the giant mechs available, assumedly removing Starline's control over the robot entirely. Although, I feel like Starline would still be able to override the robot, but okay. Surge and Kit look on as the hundreds, maybe even thousands of badniks arrive at the capital city. Surge counts how many badniks she'll destroy personally and those that she'll program to self-destruct for when they inevitably overthrow Starline. Assuming that Sonic will be on his way soon, the two devise their plan. If Tails arrives with Sonic, Kit needs to take him out while she deals with the main event. And after they're through with the heroes, the doctors are next. And then finally, everybody that's ever supported Sonic, friends and citizens alike, tearing the entire region down in the process. Do you see this? You could have this. Come here, dog. That's good, yes. You can have all this and more. All you have to do is subscribe to the Eggman Empire. She won't be yours, but you'll feel accomplished. Subscribe, mother... Like this freaking video. Comment on this freaking thing. And most importantly, subscribe to me. Give me all of your YouTube time. Okay. A discussion with Starline happens at the beginning of this issue, which ironically reminds me of much better times, when I saw the actual potential in Starline, before his entire character was dragged through a pile of shit to present us with who Dr. Starline truly is. A massive idiot who is swayed by any opinion that may even slightly oppose his. In this interaction, Starline questioned Eggman's decision to use such resource-heavy, cost-ineffective, impractical locations such as theme parks all over the place. Now, Eggman's reasoning is valid enough, stating that he just wants his enemies' final moments to be exactly how he pictures it should be, and noting that he just won't settle for the world the way it is, and that inspires Dr. Starline. This conversation that they had displays the Starline that I was wanting. Logical, reasonable, attentive, especially for the smaller details that anybody would overlook. He was built up to be a successor to Eggman that only works to improve on Eggman's shortcomings. The perfect partner to the Doctor that will be able to enhance how he views the world. And even if that didn't work out, then Starline could have ran his own empire where he does just that. Yet, the Starline we have isn't that. I just feel like I can't say this enough. I am overly disappointed with Starline's character. The direction they're taking and everything he's failed at just makes me not like Dr. Starline. And I'm tired of seeing him constantly bumble around and screw everything up. Surge and Kit are the best thing he's ever done, and he's already messed up the entire thing with one miniseries. Starline has not gained a single win once in his entire life. I love the idea of Starline wanting to end what he perceives to be the Sonic cycle. Starline is the one who sees the vision, but his character is just definitely not the one to break the world out of this. He's just not competent enough. So, the way I see it, the end of the Sonic cycle will completely fall onto Surge, the only character in this entire series who's brave enough to question what everybody stands for and their reasons behind doing anything at all. Patience, planning, and preparation, Starline says. Every variable accounted for and controlled. I can already see how much this arrogance is gonna come back and kick his teeth in. If not by Sonic himself, then surely by Dr. Eggman, a bridge that Starline has now burned twice. This character is obviously never going to improve, and he's just going to get worse. Fuck you, Dr. Starline. Anyway, let's move on to another doctor. Where the hell is this city? I find it pretty crazy how conveniently everything Eggman has done so far has taken place in this small little region here. Eggman's empire is supposed to be on a worldwide scale. So the fact that everything he's made has taken place right where all the heroes live is honestly getting ridiculous. I can only imagine we're sticking with that, and the city is like 10 miles away from Sunset City or something ridiculous. Are we ever getting out of this confined area? Or are we just stuck here like some sort of Saturday morning cartoon where Eggman decides he's gonna be a dick and shotgun his greatest plan in the same place yet again? Why would Eggman be so stupid as to launch all of his plans 10 feet away from all of the heroes? Speaking of Eggman City, do the security cameras here just compare every person on a scale of Sonic and Tails? Why would the security cameras try to decide if Surge and Kit were either or? They're not clones of them, they're cyborgs. When Orbot and Cubot get there, the Badniks are kind of just reporting Surge and Kit like they're Sonic and Tails for some reason. The only way that would make sense is if Surge and Kit were pumped with DNA of the two and the cameras and Badniks were able to scan people's insides. And if that were the case, it would also mean that they would pick up other characters' DNA that Starline may have nabbed. As far as the story displays, Starline only has a direct sample of Tails, and the rest of the cast are replicated through the power cores. So again, I ask, why would anything be struggling to say if it's Sonic or Tails? And also, why doesn't Eggman work his own damn cameras? Or at least ask another robot to pull them up? Are Orbot and Cubot the only ones capable of pulling them up or something? Eggman was just gonna have some pseudo Sonic and Tails wrecking his brand new city and be upset about it that whole time? What if Orbot and Cubot never showed up? Also, can I just note that Eggman does in fact have security cameras all over his city? Yet when Starline got Egg Base Sigma, there just apparently were no cameras anywhere. Until he installed them, assumedly for Surge and Kit. So like, is this the only place that Eggman has made cameras for? He just saved that budget for this city alone? Let's talk about this hypnosis for a little bit, okay? Surge has the strongest mind out of anybody in the cast. Not one single character has ever countered Starline's hypnosis before. Not even Starline himself in the last issue. Surge is the only one who was able to break through the damn thing. Ironically, since Starline literally designed her to be broken by it, so if anybody would struggle to ever come out of the thing, it would be Surge. So, at the moment, Surge is the only character that the hypnosis has ever struggled against. Again, the hypnosis is supposed to be enhanced on her, so she's facing double the power and still overcoming it. That's my motherfucking girl, bro. Waiting to see if IDW is ever gonna address that claim and show somebody completely impervious to the damn thing. Utilizing Metal Sonic is the perfect tease to the real fight between Sonic and Surge. Yeah, we've seen how capable Surge is throughout Imposter Syndrome, so to tease this encounter by bringing in Metal Sonic, where Surge and Kit win, is just top-notch hype. Although, I hope that the real fight with Sonic lasts longer than a few panels, as this fight was unfortunately really short. Based on what Surge is saying, it sounds like her and Kit are gonna be split up for the real fight, at least temporarily. So it's gonna be a full 1v1 against Sonic for Surge, while Kit deals with Tails. Good luck, Tails. You're gonna need it. And since we're talking about fighting, might I say that Metal Sonic got rocked in this fight. Holy shit. He never stood a chance. I remember this fight being a big stir online, with people saying that Surge could never defeat Metal Sonic. It's a fight that I wanted to see in full context because when I first heard of this fight, they all made it seem like Surge 1v1 obliterated Metal Sonic, which is obviously not the case. Not only was this not a 1v1 fight, it also wasn't a fair fight for Metal Sonic. Kit intervened and trapped him in a water bubble. Maybe he could have got out had he enough time to struggle? But Surge popping off that lightning, I mean, what the hell was he supposed to do? Metal Sonic is used to 1v1 with Sonic, as Tails doesn't really help. Plus the electricity mixed with water, plus him being a robot? Yeah, Metal Sonic got destroyed in this fight, even logically. I can't really tell if Surge has like full control of her lightning, but the fact that she can use it at all renders the vast majority of Eggman's army inert by that alone. Surge is not only the perfect counter to Sonic, she's also the perfect counter to nearly everything Eggman would ever throw at her. Even if we agree that Metal Sonic is a lot stronger than both Kit and Surge, the fact that these two had that perfect synergy makes the impossible suddenly possible. This is how actual heroes operate in just about every story as well. There's no reason that the same logic shouldn't follow on the villain side. A takeaway from this, everybody should be using the buddy system, and no fight should ever truly be fair. Just decimate the opponent. Forget pride and bragging rights. Motherfucker, did you survive and defeat the opponent? Good luck to anybody that has to go up against Surge and Kit together. Starline has created a nigh unstoppable duo. Also, I just want to fix this reference that Ian does real quick, because the way it's written, it's just ripped from SA2, because Ian Flynn is cringe. The correct way to do this reference would be to utilize it from Surge's perspective. The way it is now, it's just Surge referencing a moment that she wasn't there for. However, if we bold the word "my" here, the context of the line actually changes to what Ian meant to write in. Or should have, if he didn't actually mean to do it this way. By adding the bolded letters to the word "my," it's no longer "you're not even good enough to be my fake." Now it's "and you're not even good enough to be my fake." This would make it so that the line properly states that Metal Sonic isn't even good enough to copy Surge, rather than Surge just randomly putting on David Humphrey's voice.
You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my words.
I do think it's very disappointing that Surge and Kit are already breaking away from Starline at the end of Imposter Syndrome. It would have been very interesting to see how far Starline could go with these two at his side moving forward. Even if he fails to maintain Eggman's empire, these two will be able to protect him from any further harm from Eggman or Sonic's retaliation, and he'll be able to come back much stronger than before. But since they're leaving his side, I suppose that Starline's Tricore retreat is going to be the best option for him when this entire operation once again comes crashing down on his head. In that case, it'll be back to the drawing board again. Maybe he'll tighten up and make that Knuckles replacement. Give Surge and Kit the payback for betraying him. Surge and Kit already leaving Dr. Starline feels very rushed, and I don't think it was the right time to do it yet. Let's talk about Surge and Kit's motivation here briefly. I don't really have the full scope, but I do think I have kind of an idea of what's going on here. Kit appears to be completely subservient to Starline's hypnosis. He's forcefully programmed to act for Surge, do everything for Surge, and he can't break out of that. He's also programmed to be eternally loyal to Dr. Starline. This is evident in the fact that he wanted to tell Starline exactly what happened to Surge when she was hurt and subsequently healed. So his programming seems to be overpowering all of his rationale. But if Surge does tell him to do something, his programming once again acts up and he kind of breaks out of Starline's thing, but in that he's then subservient to Surge. Surge, however, clearly doesn't have that problem. Surge is constantly breaking out of this conditioning. Again, she was even able to break out of the hypnosis temporarily. She's just constantly breaking through the programming that should be embedded into her. Surge is very, very self-aware, and also actually a really intelligent person. I think that she might not be emotionally intelligent, as she definitely acts out and doesn't seem to be able to keep her raw feelings in check, but she is evidently very smart, rationalizing scenarios and deducing that Starline is so obviously hiding something very dark from them. Without Surge, Kit would continue to be under Starline's oppression. Surge's programming has evidently not finalized, as she still has a very powerful hold on her sense of self and still has the ability to rationalize what's going on around her. I think the best way to explain this is that Surge's programming does exist inside of her, as in Starline has absolutely molded her into who she is today. However, she never lost her will or independence. She has a subconscious always telling her that something isn't right, nothing is adding up here, so she needs to act. The only time she breaks down is when she's cracked through her programming and is realizing that she's not who Starline says she is. I still think it's true that her sense of self has been wiped, which is what's going to cause her mind to essentially collapse into itself, which could spell some very dark implications for her future. Although, after realizing that she was a cyborg, she quickly put herself back together and started putting all the pieces in place. Starline did say that the longer these two stay within these personalities he's crafted, the more they'll become these people he's made. Kit may become entirely dependent on Surge, however, I believe that Surge is going to mold this personality into something entirely unique over time. Since we're on the final issue, I thought we could take some time to briefly touch on the incredible Sonic cycle before I do a deeper dive in the final review. Interestingly enough, there are in fact shades of this inside of the game's continuity, as well as shades that do suggest an alternative to this idea. As far as I can see it, the Sonic cycle is a valid conclusion for Starline to come to based on how the heroes act in the games even. There are just as many instances where the heroes do nothing at all to Eggman, like the ending of Sonic Adventure 2 or even the ending of Sonic Riders. There are also instances where Eggman seemingly perishes with no way that he'll return, such as with Sonic Advance 2 or Sonic Lost World. At this point in Sonic and Eggman's history together, you'd expect that a simple explosion with Eggman trapped inside is no sort of confirmation that he died. The only sort of confirmation these heroes should be accepting is Eggman's corpse lying in front of them, completely lifeless, where they then proceed to bury his ass. Even in the games, none of the heroes are very proactive about making sure Eggman is gone for good. I can completely see where Starline is coming from. Sonic and his friends are all villain enablers, even in video game continuity. It's just something they do sometimes. And sometimes they just decide, not this time, buddy, you gotta go. However, Starline's idea is to kill Sonic and Tails in public with Surge and Kit, and then have the two subsequently replace Sonic and Tails in the zeitgeist of the world after they just murdered the two. Okay. Starline also didn't give Surge or Kit any sort of hero personality. She's extremely volatile, unpredictable, vain, and also irritable. Kit barely has any semblance of a personality, as though Starline never even painted a canvas for him to pull from. Unless Starline plans to grab these two after Sonic is dead, I just can't see the world accepting them as they are. They might as well be villains themselves. It's just villain on villain crime, with nobody quite sure who the hell they should be rooting for. Surge and Kit can learn to be heroes over time, but their first order of business being the last people to see Sonic and Tails alive? Well, I think you're missing the mark by a few thousand miles on that one, bud. I think that imposter syndrome sets a really high bar for Surge's character, and I really do want them to deliver and continue making her someone that's really enjoyable to watch. Surge feels like the best character IDW has ever written, and I'm not trying to exaggerate that here. Even with my jokes about being attracted to Surge, writing-wise, it's very clear that she's something very different, and she represents a certain idea that can be seen in both the comics and the games. I do want to talk more about Surge and the Sonic cycle, but I think I should save most of what I have to say until issue 50 and the final review. Real quick, I want to reconfirm a point I had been bringing up before. I think Tails' DNA actually did work. It worked on Surge. Breaking out of her programming, breaking free of the hypnosis, willingly going against Starline. She alone put together the fact that Starline's been lying to her. She's more cautious than even Starline, noticing the flaws in all of Starline's plan, and she was the hardest to crack in the testing phase with an astronomically higher number of sessions than even Kit, the actual Tails copy. Surge, so far, is hands down one of the best written characters that IDW has ever crafted. If they're able to maintain this level of awareness, rationale, and depth, then Surge will be the best character in this series without contest. You can actually look at her character and rationalize with her, rather than constantly asking, what the hell is this moron doing? For any other writer, that's baseline surface level stuff. For IDW, that's a massive leap in quality. A character that feels like a real person. Not just a character on the screen that's purely designed to just push the story along. Surge is a somebody. Good job, IDW. You've passed basic writing. Doesn't sound like an achievement when I put it that way. Again, I do have so much more to say, especially about Surge and Kit, but I think that's best left for the Saga review. And that's gonna do it for Imposter Syndrome. Time to get back to the main series. We're only gonna do 2, and then issue 50 is gonna be its own thing. So, get ready for that. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Eggman Empire Discord. Okay, bye!